It's an industry that I generally love. I have a passion for. I eat, sleep, I live for fitness.
No, you need to be obsessed. You need to wake up, think about it. You need to go to bed, think about your clients, think about your progress, think about what you can do better.
Genuinely, just be patient and take your time. That is you've got to take it all in the right steps. You've got to nail what you do in person before you go online.
I don't like to talk about fear. The fears is usually something that makes your worries real.
You are listening to the Coaching Ignited show, where we bring you stories and insights from coaches, fitness professionals and industry experts to help you expand your business and reach your goals. If you're a new listener, thanks for joining us. My name is Alex Povey. You can subscribe to the podcast on all your favorite apps, including Spotify and iTunes. The Coaching Ignited movement is on a mission to help coaches and personal trainers increase their sales and reach their full potential. If you wanted to find out more, please head over to CoachingIgnited.com. And if you wanted to connect with us on social media, all the details can be found in the show notes. Now let's get into today's show. On today's episode of the podcast, we've got Carl Greenslade, and he's a nutrition and performance coach from Manchester, just down the road from me. And on this episode with Coach Carl, we talk about the nitty-gritty of face-to-face personal training, building a client base and making the switch from a commercial gym to a private studio. And Carl shares some of the breakthroughs he's experienced during his career that have helped him retain loyal paying clients and get lasting transformations. And we look at why being a personal trainer is more than just fitness and nutrition. And on this episode, you will uncover areas of your business or your approach to coaching that you might be neglecting. So I can't wait for you to get stuck into this episode. As always, if you enjoy it, please leave a positive review. We'd really appreciate that. Sit back, relax, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, Coach Carl, we are live and we are in your gym space.
Yes, this is the Heaton's personal training company in Didsbury.
Awesome little space. For anyone listening, we're huddled around a mic together. We're both sat on benches.
In the middle of the gym. Literally.
In the middle of the gym. We've got a box with a laptop on. We've got the mic here. Coach Carl is leaning into the mic to make up for the sound quality.
Yep.
And it's pretty toasty in here, so we're sweet. We're good to go.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about how you got into the industry. Why did you get started as a personal trainer? What's your story?
My story, right. I've been asked this one a few times now. So my story is, I said to you earlier on, I don't have this amazing background story of somebody, my mom was on a deathbed and then I found this magical cure of how to do things that prompted me to want to get into the industry of fitness and help people. It was just because honestly at school, reading and writing wasn't really my forte, but movement, fitness, PE, that sort of stuff always was. And then after doing multiple amount of jobs post school, because I didn't do college or anything like that, I landed in a fitness instructor role basically, and then it kind of just grew from there. And it was I just did it and essentially I've just done it well, I think. Whether that's come from attributes of, because I really like people as well, which is a massive one. So I think that's helped loads. And then I guess there's that degree of, I wanted to learn what I gave a shit about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that made wanting to learn about it better and easier. So yeah.
Why do you think that's so important that you want to learn what you give a shit about? Like you said, why do you think you're talking about passion now? You're talking about things that you're really interested in. I think a lot of people will come into the industry for different reasons. But why is it important, obviously, for you to like what you do? How has that helped you? How has that been crucial?
No, absolutely. Well, I think it's the same in any industry. If you don't like it, you're not going to go anywhere in it. Yeah. So whereas I remember one of my, he works up here with me now, actually, Tony, and we were about 3 years ago back in Virgin Active, and he was like, how are you doing so well with clients and stuff like that? And I was like, well, so I said a couple of things, and then he's like, but I fucking hate people. And I went, you need to get out of this job then, mate. And that was his aha moment of, I need to love this or I'm not going to get any further in it. And that's why I think I excelled past other people that joined in the same time as me up at Virgin. And that really helped me move forwards because I generally just really enjoy what I'm doing. It's I've been coaching now for ages and people are like, oh, do you still want to keep coaching? I'm like, do you know what? I probably do. I just want to keep coaching probably till I dropped down dead.
What were those early days for you like in Virgin? When you first started out, you got into the gym, you had to pick up clients. What was that whole process and like journey for you at the start?
Yeah, it was. So when I kind of joined up over at Virgin as a PT, they literally just went, "Here's the floor, go and find your clients." That's what they did. So for the first month and a half, I just spoke to so many people. Like, I didn't do any PT sessions. Like, I maybe did some tasters with people so people could see me being a PT sort of thing. And I was walking around obviously in the black, what we had to wear. But it was my first month was just talking to tons of people and just seeing, like, it got to the point actually where I got so good at just talking to people and so like open about it. A lot of people would avoid people with headphones in. So I'd be like, how many people have got headphones in at the minute? And I'm going to go up to them, and you'll be surprised how people will kind of do what you want them to do if you just mimic some signs. Like, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
okay. Was this a tactic?
Yeah.
This is a strategy. So let's talk about the headphones.
So obviously
strategy.
somebody's on the treadmill or whatever, and they see me coming along, and you already know in their head they're going, "Don't talk to me, don't talk to me, don't talk to me." And naturally, I just go off and I'd be like, so I'd do a bit of a waving, like when you ask for the bill, "Can the bill, please?" Yeah. So I kind of would do that with a hand, and I'd be like, and I'd mimic taking one headphone out. So then they obviously, just because they're polite, most people, like 9 times out of 10, they pop one headphone out, and then you just start engaging in conversation. So you would never start with, "How's your training going?" Because they'd just be like, "It's great." Right? Dead. So you would, the good one was like, "What are you training for?" Or, "I've seen you loads of times, and what's your name?" So just being polite. They know I work there. And then they'd be long. So that they still got one headphone in their hand at this point, that can bobbing away. And then about sort of a minute in, they would naturally then just take out the second one and put it to the side. They wouldn't stop moving, but then they would then start to create this conversation. You could then engage in proper conversation.
So how did you feel about going about that process? Because I know a lot of personal trainers struggle with the fear of rejection, right? It's the biggest thing that I have to help my clients overcome is breaking down those fears of approaching people and potentially getting rejected and not accepted, right? So you were going quite hard into this by trying to go up to people with no headphones.
Yeah, I mean,
what was your thought process? How did you overcome that?
Yeah, true. But that was probably like after 30 days of just talking to people. Like at that point, then I was like, "Oh, I'm going to talk to people that don't want to talk to me." That's got to that point. But in the beginning, like I was just talking to like, I guess the easiest way was to be like, like the 10 o'clock slot, where it's just like old ladies and people who are unemployed or they're just there at that time of day, and they're just dead chatty. Like they already want to chat with you. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them aren't really there to train. Yeah, do you know what I mean? They're there to because having a gym membership is like the right thing to do. So it was just easy to access to talk to these people, and a lot of the time was actually I would go in and just help with a lot of like technique correction. So that was a really good thing because you're already there as the authority figure with PT, Carl, whatever on your badge. So if you go in there and just say, "Can I just show you something to get a better, response off what you're doing?" They'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And then that straight away, so there was your opening. So it was I guess my easiest way was to just be like, just talk about how I could help someone show value within about 30 seconds. I guess that was a good one.
Yeah.
Because once you did that, and they would go, "Oh yeah, I feel that." And then there you go. So that was just my full time at the beginning of there was just just talking to everybody. Everybody. I'm talking like from members to front of house staff, to the cleaners, to everybody.
Yeah, I think that's an important point because basically what you're doing is you're building up your tolerance to speaking to people. Yeah. It's the same with anything. If you're not used to doing a bench press or a squat and you stop doing it, then naturally your form's going to get weak and you're not going to be great at doing it. But the same with approaching and speaking to people. If you're not speaking to people and you avoid speaking to people, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so the only solution, the only medication for that problem is just do it over and over and over again. You said after 30 days, then you were a bit more comfortable doing it. And it's about tolerance levels. It's like building up the tolerance of doing certain things so then you can do them easier, right?
And then over that time frame, it was easier to accept rejection as well.
Yeah, because then you realize that it's not really that personal. Because like, how can it be? They don't know you. They don't know about your background, your life, who you are as a person, how good you are as a coach. But I think it's difficult sometimes because people don't want to damage their egos or they don't want to damage their feelings and think it's a reflection of them as a personal trainer if they get rejected, when that's not reality. That's just a made up story in your own head.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's the same in like, well, I don't know, it's the same in almost just in your personal life as well. You know, like when you're in your early 20s, and obviously you don't want to get rejected by any chick, right, at all. Like if you're trying to hit on anybody, but then like if you ask me now I'm in my early 30s, if somebody said, no, mate, no, I'd just be like, okay, it's fine. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think it's also a maturity thing as well. I think as you grow up, you just accept like, well, that's fine. I'll just move on.
So on that point, so this is a good one to summarize for people, like new people coming into the industry, new coaches or coaches that are not used to speaking to people. What are your 3 tips? What would you say coming into the industry, knowing what you know now and knowing how to get clients? What would you do?
So my first thing is always, so if you're coming into the industry, I think you should definitely go straight into a big commercial gym. Yep, because you've got everybody there, number one. Then it is a case of just, well, that kind of covers all of them really, but it's talk to as many people as possible. Absolutely. Just make conversations, like I said, to anyone from members all the way to front staff, cleaners, everyone, just talk to all of them. And then I guess it would be, let's try and give value in a very short amount of time, because people's time is precious. So if you just go in and go, can I just show you something for a couple of minutes? You've already given a time constraint that you're not going to take much of their time away. Yeah. And chances are you'll then talk to them for 15 minutes. But it's like, but if you go in and just say, go take a little bit, quick bit of your time to show you something good, which is going to benefit you. And then great. And then the next time you see that person, you'll just nod and say wave hello or something. And then all of a sudden you just create, you'll have these more interactions as the months go by. And then you never know, at month 3, 4, 5, they may actually come to you because you were the nicest person in there.
No, I love that. Great tips. And then in terms of like, once you get them to the next stage, right? Because it's great being able to generate these conversations, build up that trust and get them to know you. Once you get into the next point, what was kind of your process? What did you find that worked really well for you in terms of taking those leads, those people, those prospects, and then converting them into paying customers that stayed with you?
Yeah. So that, I guess now we're looking at the if you want to call it an onboarding process.
Taster consultation, sales process to people that are selling it. It's that process where you take them through the journey of this is where they are, this is where they want to be. And then you go, here's my prices, here's my packages. Let's get you signed up. What worked well for you?
I guess it was just a very simple set way of doing it. Like, unless they're a little bit naive, it's pretty obvious why, that there's going to be a monetary thing at some point. Do you know what I mean? Although, don't get me wrong, a lot of people will try and take you for a ride for a long time. But I think you've got to kind of sniff that out a little bit. But normally it would just be a case of, so once you've kind of, I guess there's that traffic light system, isn't there, of how ready do you think somebody is to sign up? So they would give you certain cues. I can't remember what these are. You might need to cite better than me, but there'd be certain cues where it's like a green light. They basically just said, they may have just walked up and said, I need your help. You'd be like, right, cool. So then when you go and talk to that individual and you sit them down, you almost don't even need to look at a taster session, and you just go straight and talk about, this is what I do, this is what I offer, this is what the gym prices are, and you just set it up. Then you'd have those other ones that would be like, I don't know, almost like an amber, which you would they'd happily come and have a chat with you, sort of things. He would talk about, you'd kind of say, like, look, do you want to have a bit more of a chat about this? And again, this would be like after a few conversations, and you just, okay, cool, we'll go to the coffee room, whatever it is, the cafe, we'll have a sit down, we'll have a talk about how things will work. And then again, obviously, if it's a red sign, they're the people you don't actually talk to. You don't ask them about that next stage. But I think once I had them, like in this scenario here, just sat down chatting, it was just making it really relaxed, really simple. And then again, in that time frame of 10, 15 minutes, you're just trying to convey enough of your skills and your value to warrant them. Why should they kind of pay extra to? And it was that thing. I used to talk about outsourcing quite a lot. Use that as a reference point. So, like, I've just bought a new flat. Am I going to paint it myself? Probably not. Why? Because I'm shit. So what am I probably going to do? I'm probably going to outsource this to somebody else to come in and do it way better than I will and way quicker. So I'd use that as a thing when I talk to people as well. So I'd say, like, look, you can do this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying that. You'd be like, well done. What you're doing is great. However, do you want to do it in 3 to 6 months, or do you want to do it in a year?
Yeah, so you create that urgency in terms of, or the deliverables in terms of, you can achieve it much quicker with a coach, because that's what a coach is for, right? Totally. Reduce the time, create the convenience, and make sure that you make them accountable. Yeah. So you're kind of positioning that in the sales process, right? So in terms of your client base, as it started to build, what were some of the key things that you did to make sure that you retained all your clients as well? Because getting clients is one part. We've covered obviously the lead gen, then the sales process, then retaining clients, because you can have all the lead gen and all the sales in the world, but if you don't retain them, then you're just going to be spinning in dirt all day. So what were some of the key things that you did to make sure that people stayed on board with you and you got that client retention?
Yeah. Okay. Well, first thing is always results. That is the first and foremost. Because even if somebody gets results, the thing we got to remember in a one-to-one setting is somebody will just stay with you. Even though they've got the goals that they wanted, now there's a good chance that you're just part of their week. Yeah. And they're just going to, and that's what they do now. So even though they've got all the goals, and obviously their goals will change, of course, but if they hit that goal weight, sometimes people just go, I guess you would expect most people just be like, okay, thank you, I've got what I need out of this, goodbye. But then I think it's what helps keep them this is where the personality comes through. This is where it all comes down to how good are you with people. I think that's where that shines through next, because I always remember, you want to be their best part of the day. That hour, they want to be unbelievably excited to come in and see you. Yeah, even if they're like I've got clients to train with now that they say why can't I just be fat and happy, right? And obviously it's a joke, we joke about it, but they will continue to come in there because we have good banter. We still train. Remember, being in that environment, it's not just about the training. It's not. They want to come to you. They will talk to you about the most open things that they would never talk to anybody else about. Like, I know so much shit about my clients that I've never shared this with anybody else. So this is all part of the PT package. Yeah, it's not just about training. It's not at all. So if you can offer all that as well as the results and give them make sure they get the training response and all that sort of stuff, but they walk out with a smile on their face and they're kind of happy to, right, when's next week then? Oh, next week is blah, blah, blah. Happy days.
You said something really interesting there because it resonated with me, because I've got a personal trainer myself, Serge, who's at the gym group in Manchester. And it's funny what you say about the conversations, because sometimes I'll go in and say, right, I want to do X. I just want you to blitz me, just annihilate me, like beat me into the ground. Other times I'll walk in and I just want to chat about business and PTing and how he's getting on in life. And he'll ask me about my life and we'll just keep it a bit more relaxed. But what he's doing is he's giving me what I want.
Yes.
Not necessarily what I need.
There you go.
And I teach this to a lot of the guys. I say, listen to what they want, not always keep delivering what they actually need, because then your client retention will suffer. You want to listen to what they want and their actions they're taking, because that's how you're going to keep them.
Yeah. Totally.
Because some people just want to chat. They want to tell you things whilst they're training, and that makes it easier for them to stay in the gym and carry on training. Yeah. If that's what you've got to do to keep them with you, then actually you're doing your job in making them healthier. Because if you don't give them what they want, they might just leave the gym and then they won't train at all, and then you've not made an impact. Yeah. But I think being an expert, at your level as well, you've been doing this a long time, being an expert can sometimes get in the way, because you try and impart your expertise on people. They just don't want to hear it. Yeah. They just want to do what they want.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's, totally. So you have to find a middle ground, meet in the middle, something like that. You know that you don't want to give them a disservice of, you're never going to charge somebody £35 for a chat. I couldn't do that, or whatever you're charging. So you would just find that middle ground of, we will work through X amount of sets, but you can talk to me as much as you need. At some point, I'm going to say, I can lift the bar. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. In that kind of bantery way. And they always go, oh yeah, sorry. And then they'll go do what they want. But yeah, at the end of it, if they've managed to get something off their chest or share something with you, they've trained well, sweaty, hot, whatever, got a nice training response, whatever, and they've had a good time, then you've given them what they paid for, basically, what they're paying for. Sorry.
So let's talk about the progression now as a trainer, because obviously you've been doing this for a while. How many years have you been doing this for now?
So I've been a PT properly, I guess, for 6-7 years, I guess. Okay. Yeah.
So a lot longer than a lot of people coming into the industry, because it's quite a high turnover. So you've stuck around, you started at Virgin, and then you progressed to where you are now, right? This isn't a big box gym. It's not a big commercial gym where you've got tons of members. So how do you go from a gym, tons of members, to then getting to this point? And why have you chosen to go this way?
True. Yeah. So I guess you really should outgrow any commercial gym. That you just should, because it will come down to like what rents are you paying and all this sort of stuff. And with a commercial, it might also all different. Virgin was a great place to go in at because they didn't charge you a gym rent. Basically, it always worked on the percentage that whatever you were delivering. That's it. So whereas I guess if you go to a lot of commercial gyms, they might be like, right, it's £600 straight off the bat. That makes it a little bit more like, you've got a gun to your head straight away. I must work harder. So actually at Virgin Active back then, it was a nice way to get into it. So the system works until you start delivering a lot of sessions. So now when you're delivering 25 plus sessions a week, and they kind of wanted the 100 over the month, and then that's how you got the higher rate of pay. You can't go any higher than that. The only way you can earn more money now, if this is your main goal, or to help more people, is to just do more hours. And there's only so many hours we have. So then it was just a case of, Then I had to basically have a bit step back and just kind of think about where I wanted to go with it. And I was like, I've been there now for 2.5 years. I've got X amount of clients. Could I do this by myself now? So then it's just a case of where I am in Didsbury. I just kind of looked around what was around, who was doing what. And actually where we are right now, we're all ex-Virgin staff, basically.
That's
so
interesting.
The lifespan of all of us is the time span is about 10 years between us all, of like from the first person who came here, who runs this place now, to the last person to come join us. But we've all come from the same place. So, I mean, so when the time came, I spoke to all my clients. So they were all on board. And I think in the end, about 80% of them came with me, because like some people just don't like change. So that's fine. They can keep doing what they're doing, and you're still going to keep a good relationship with them. But once I kind of realized that everybody was on board, it was just a case of just handing in your notice. Because at those big gyms as well, there's almost like a fake security blanket that you think the gym managers are going to help you out if all of a sudden you lost all your clients, but they're not. They're not going to help you out at all. They're not going to jump on the gym floor and help you find more. They'll just be like, well, you need to find more clients. That's it. Because all they care about is most of the time just the money side of things. So once I realized there is no security blanket there, that made it way easier for me. Like way easier for me.
So the transitional process is kind of interesting. So there could be some people listening to this that are at that point where they've got a rammed client base and they might want to make a transition.
Yeah.
How do you go about the process of making sure you can bring those clients over with you?
Yeah. So I guess what you'll find is most clients are gonna, well, obviously they a lot of them would still train down at Virgin, because at the end of the day, this is this particular thing. My personal thing was, this was a private PT studio, and it was only around the corner. So in terms of logistics, it was very, very easy. I think that's what you got to bear in mind as well, is where are you going?
Yeah, you don't want to go too far.
So if you go too far, then you are. In fact, actually, forgot about that. I did actually spend 3 months at a place down in Stockport, which is a bit further away, because this, where we are right now, wasn't ready. There had too many people. Back room hadn't been knocked through yet, so the space wasn't here. So 3 months, I did actually have to go somewhere where some of my clients had to go further. And that's why about 80% of them came with me in the end, and not like a 95% of them came with me in the end, which I totally get that. Logistically, I wouldn't go out of my way to train, even though I love training, like I wouldn't do it. So I think that's something to be aware of as well. But again, you've got to remember, you've these clients that are moving with you, they've probably been working with you for like a minimum of a year, or 6 months. So, and they've bought into you as a coach and what you do. So they want to keep training with you. So if now you kind of say, I'm going to be taking this is my plan, I want to take it over there. And also they should want to be part of your journey as well. They should almost want to be part of I think that's a really good idea. Like my clients who were business people, they obviously fucking loved it. They were like, this is great for you, do it, and I'll support you whatever you need to do.
That's nice. Yeah.
So they were the ones that were the absolute like support network for sure. And then the rest of them just kind of essentially most of them then kind of sort of followed suit. And then they would just tell me, so I'd tell them, they'd be like, yep, cool, I'll cancel my PT membership, not the gym membership. So once they'd done that, you knew they were coming with you anyway. So you kind of had a bit of you kind of knew everybody had cancelled before you left. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you knew everyone was committed before you actually said see you.
So then when you get to this gym though, here's the thing, right? Once you get to this location that we're in now, you don't have those members, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing now. What happens if they all left you?
But yeah, so this is it. If they all left me now, I guess I would be running around door to door asking, that's the thing that you've got to remember. You do lose that bit. You lose that pond of people that are going to be in that one place. You totally lose that. But you should be well established as a coach by now for referrals, because you're getting such good results with people anyway. Like I've been here for 3 years at this place now, and I've never had to advertise. Not once. So that tells me that I'm doing what I'm doing it correctly. Yeah, cool. And since I've been here, I've had kind of some of my long-term people, they've had to shoot off for logistical reasons or whatever, money reasons. I've had new people come in and go, but I've still got people that are working with me here in this place that were like my oldest clients back at Virgin.
So the retention is obviously the key.
Yeah. And again, that comes down, I think again, massively comes down to the personality of you and what you deliver. And
the results.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said like a couple of people left. So the ones that came in, were they referrals or?
Yeah. So anyone that's come in from here now, like since I've been up at this place, is mainly from referrals and social media now. Because back then, I wasn't good on social media 5 years ago. I was shit. Whereas now, obviously, I don't talk about it a huge amount because obviously I do a fair amount of online stuff as well. But if I needed to, obviously I would shout to the rooftops about this place on all of my stories and anything to do with any posts I'd be doing. Everything would kind of reference back to me being a one-to-one coach here somehow.
Right. Okay. So these two that came, referrals, right?
What new?
The new ones that came over. We were talking about the referrals.
Yeah.
Do you have like a process for the referrals, or do you just wait organically for them to come to you?
Fortunately, I've just had to wait organically.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're just running a tight ship over here.
Yeah.
It's results, isn't it? So maybe let's dive into the results then. Like, obviously you're doing something right. Well, they just love your personality and you've just got great banter, as you said. But you must be getting some results right for these people. So what are some of the keys or some of the main things that you're doing in your business and with your training to make sure that they get results? Yeah. What are the keys to your performance?
Okay, so this is a thing that I think the one-to-one coaching setup doesn't make any sense for people who've come in for fat loss. A client won't burn that many calories in a 1 hour session. Yeah. So when I kind of realized this format is slightly flawed, that's when I went heavily into the nutrition side of things. So then with that, you essentially then you can start looking at doing nutrition almost consults in the price that you offer. So you can start talking about that more, because at the end of the day, everyone who's listened to this will know this. It's like, what are they doing the other 23 hours of the day? Yeah, that's what gets them results. We all should know by now that we will burn more calories sat on the sofa doing fuck all for 4 hours than you ever will in an hour PT session. Yeah, so it's a really kind of stupid way of looking at fat loss. This is why when I talk about training now, it's you go to the gym to build muscle. You go to the gym to get stronger. Your food, your nutrition, and your lifestyle, that's where you do the fat loss. So that's now the angle that's the angle I've been doing for the last 3-4 years. So that was my biggest switch.
So what was the tipping point for that? When did you realize, I need that nutritional angle to it in order to make this work? Were you realizing that people just weren't getting the results?
I was just realizing, because one of the things I used to do down at Virgin that nobody else did is I used to do, it was called a stats day. So one of their sessions of the whole month was, we didn't even train. Like one of the sessions, like, because remember, like, even if you're at a commercial gym, like they paid for their hour. What you do in that hour is kind of up to you. Yes, most people assume you're going to train, but one of the hours was we did just a full download of, right, this is where you are. This is where you were last time. This is what you've got better at. This is what you need to continue to do these things. You could say a month was a little bit too long, to be honest, but to just dedicate a whole session of, now it would be, if they really needed a lot of talking, it would be a full hour. Yeah. And then you prompt them and just say, like, normally it'd be the first session of the month. It'd be a stats day, first session of the month, because it's easier to do it month. So you just be like, look, just make sure you've got like a couple hours. Then you can come and you can do our bit, and then you can just go off and train. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like they didn't. So they still come in their gym kit, whatever. But once when I was doing it that way around, and they were coming in and we were just talking about, I was coaching them. I wasn't PTing them. I was coaching them, and that's where the breakthrough came through massively.
Because you were seeing that they weren't progressing at the level you needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not necessarily they weren't progressing, but I just knew it could be done better.
because of that reflection and analysis, rather than just going through the motions and just train without evaluating what the hell was going on.
Exactly. And I've been in this industry for a while now, and like I think it depends what you. So my ethos is still, even though we spoke about like make sure your client has a good time and all this sort of stuff, it's still results driven. Like, and if your fundamental goal isn't results driven for your client, then I'm not saying you're doing the wrong thing, but I think that's not that ethical. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't just be like, oh, I've got these 30 clients and I'm just going to do enough to keep them with me. Yeah. You should want to get them the best results possible. So I think having that ethos of that kind of outlook, so to speak, was why I was like, well, how can I make this better? And this is when I knew I could help way more people through the nutrition side of things than the PT side of things.
So what path did you go down? So anyone listening to this, they might think, well, okay, I want to get into the nutritional side. I want to up my nutritional game. Yeah. What were some of the steps you took to make sure that you positioned yourself as someone knowledgeable and someone who had some expertise in that area?
Yeah. So for me personally, because I don't do very well with like books and reading, I just find it boring and all this sort of stuff. So podcasts back then were like fresh and new. It was a cool, I mean, there wasn't tons of podcasts to listen to. So I would just listen to, I think back then it was the Ben Coomber's Ben Coomber Radio was a good one for me. There was a few other ones, I can't remember what they're called now, but yeah, I think it was Phil Lerney back in the day as well. Listen to his stuff.
ACA.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that then. It was just him. It was just him kind of just giving out knowledge stuff, like stuff that was actionable things. That's what it was. So so in terms of just free information, that helped loads. I actually think that's probably harder to do today because there's so much out there to listen to. So I think as a quick tip, I would say just try and find 3 people that you resonate with and just stick with that. And just because you'll just get, what is it? Is it powerless? I can't remember what I'm saying now, but it's basically, you can almost go, well, there's too many things to look at. I won't listen to anything.
Yeah, I suppose like you can easily get confused. I think that's why a lot of people are confused when it comes to nutrition and fitness, because everyone's screaming different things.
Absolutely.
And if you're trying to take something from everyone, it will just cancel out everything else and you'll go, fuck it, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
Same with like mentors and coaches. You want to have a couple, not 100. You don't want to be listening to too many voices at the same time, because then it's just going to kind of create a barrier for you to take action.
Yeah.
Because if there's too many things to look at, too many things to digest, just the causes decision fatigue, and then you just won't do anything. So yeah, I think that's really vital, is just keep it simple, pick a couple of people, and then just stick to those. In terms of like advanced learning, did you go through any programs that you'd recommend that were really good?
So I think it was back in 2013-14, I did the BTN Academy. So back then, that was probably the only one that was. But I didn't just do it because it was the only one, but it was the one that I've obviously been listening to Ben and his stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's his. So I jumped on that basically. I was like, right. So this is where that was actually probably the first big investment that I put into myself at that point. Because obviously, apart from obviously getting your qualifications in the beginning, I guess you could use that as an investment. But I was quite fortunate. The gym that I was working for back down in Exeter, they paid for my level 2. And then I did some backdoor government scheme thing to get my level 3, which it takes longer, but it was free as fuck. So that's fine for me. So this was the first thing that I actually kind of went, well, I want to learn more. So I'm going to invest some money in this and learn more. That's kind of where that came from. So I did their course. It was brilliant. It was a year long. And actually at the back of that, I ended up actually working for BTN at the end of it. Just through connections, talking, that sort of stuff.
Nice.
They liked who I was, got good results. So do you know what I mean? So I ended up actually becoming one of their online coaches.
Nice.
Yes.
And then
and Ben's one of my good mates. Wedding and all sorts.
And then there's kind of like everyone's mixing together now, because Robin Lee's in this equation as well, who introduced us to this podcast. Just who's listening, thank you so much for connecting us. But you're good friends with Robin, and she went on the BTN course as well. But she's was your client.
Yeah, so Robin was brilliant. Robin was like a great success story, actually. She came to me, she wanted to get wedding ready. So we did that over the course of 7-8 months, I think it was. She learned loads over that time frame, just working with me. Like, oh, this is what calories are. Oh, I need to eat less to get results. Oh, but I don't need to eat. But if I still want to train, do you know what I mean? And she just learned it all. It was great. So then her thirst for just, once she kind of got her results, she just loved it. And she was like, I'd like to be able to help people do this. So that's when then once we'd finished, she then, like I said to you the other day, she then took that money that she was spending on me to go and invest on a year's course with the PTN Academy. And now she's fucking absolutely flying with what she does, eh?
Yeah, she's doing really well.
Yeah.
And she's...
my little protege.
Yeah, I bet that's a proud for you, because you were the catalyst. In a sense, like when you trained her, she got that thirst for nutrition, and then she went on to set up this company. Maybe you should start training people how to set up nutritional-based coaching businesses.
Yeah, you go,
There's a market for that. There's a market for every type of coach, right? But in terms of what happened next, or maybe in this journey, you talk about online clients and stuff now, and I'm guessing that's a focus of yours. Can you talk how you broke into the online part of things and how you kind of transitioned? Was it like a hybrid model where you took offline clients and put them online?
So mine's a little bit different because, like I said, I actually got into the online coaching because of doing the BTN Academy and essentially landing a job at the back end of it, which was not expected at all. Like that was not even the idea, even a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It was just, like I said, I got to know the guys throughout the course. Actually, while I was doing the course, I went and did a couple of their they did some training retreats. So that therefore I actually got to talk to them face to face and get to meet them in person. Yeah, which was cool. So again, you could say I was investing each time I did that was like another £500 to go out to Spain, spend some time with them, and obviously then they obviously just. They also like, well, this guy's all right, he's a nice guy sort of thing. And they liked the results I was getting one-to-one style. So then when I got to the end of the course and Ben sent me a message saying, I've got, can we have a chat? Obviously at that point as well, Ben, I was a little bit of a fanboy for Ben as well. So I was like, oh, of course we can. So, so then we had a chat and it was cool. And then obviously I just got to realize he's exactly the same as the rest of us. He's just a lad, just doing cool shit. Yeah. Resonated really well with him, and then they offered me a position as an online coach with those guys. Now that wasn't a case of like they just threw clients at me, but I guess that gave me a bit more. It did definitely give me a stepping platform for sure, without a doubt. Like it did. So my step into this would be different to most people's of how people are probably going to do it today. My advice of that is, if we're kind of looking at how you would do that today, is like social media is free as fuck, so you've just got to hammer it. You just hammer it. You put out good content. Be watchable, I guess. Like entertain. Be an entertainer. You have to be an entertainer because, like, I'm not saying I'm the best on social media, but I do. But I will get a lot of DMs just saying, "Fuck, you're funny. I like your approach." That's the best one because I just call out a lot of stuff. And my approach is do A, B, and C, or stay fat. Keep it simple. Which is a bit abrupt, but then the people who don't like that will stop following me. Yeah. And the people that like that will follow me more.
I think this is a big thing because I was talking about this with someone the other day, and in order to attract, you have to repel.
Totally.
Like there is no attraction without repelling people. Yeah. It's the same as anything in life. There's up and down, hot and cold, black and white, day and night, right? There's always an opposite. So if you're really attracting people, you're really going to fuck other people off. And that's fine. And you need to be okay with that. But you want to be one or the other. You want to lean into it, find your kind of little spot and then push into that and attract those few people that you need, because you only need a few. Yeah. You only need a 1,000 true fans to be a multi-millionaire.
Absolutely.
Who are willing to do anything for you, right? So if you're just looking at building a nice little sustainable business, you only have to have couple of people in the network that are willing to invest and buy your products and services. So you might as well just appeal to them rather than trying to please everyone. But let's talk about maybe someone looking to get their first 5 online clients, right? Okay, yeah. Because I've got a lot of trainers in my network, in my community, who I basically specialize in the commercial gym guys and help them build businesses. I don't specialize in building online businesses, but some of them reach a point where they're like, okay, what do I do now? Fully booked. Yeah. And they're thinking, right, I want to go online. So what would be your kind of tips for these guys who are maybe fully booked and they want to get their first 5 clients? What would be your first point of call?
Well, if we track back a little bit, you've already said the right thing first is make sure you are fully booked. Yeah. Don't try and add in another thing when you're still not full. There's just no point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Be awesome at that thing. And then it makes sense to try and transition into something else because it makes people right. So, so 5 tips would be, I guess, you've got to give out when you're going into the online space. I guess number one is you will be giving out a lot of free information, but make sure it's quality for sure. So, free information, make sure number one. I guess then it's got to be quality information as well, for sure. Then I guess again it comes back to that point of be approachable. Yes, so they've got to want to watch you. Yeah, like I've watched many people who are PTs and they'll just be like, so if you just eat this, you'll be fine. And it's just boring. Like nobody's going to want to watch that guy. So you have to have a personality with it for sure. Don't be afraid to be yourself as well. So people expect me to swear. Yeah. Like if I wrote a post and I've not put a swear word in it, they'll notice there's no swear word in it. Yeah. I'm not saying that's now my thing, but it's the way I would talk to you. It's the way I would talk to most people.
It's you. It's being authentic.
I'm not being an arsehole. It's just the way I talk. And I was brought up very well, and I do know my please and thank yous and how to say pardon. Yeah. All right. But that is how I would talk to people. So, and again, so that would be that you're going to get that back. So talk how the way you portray yourself is essentially the people that are going to want to come and work with you for sure. And then I guess that's kind of 4, I guess. And the other one is just show up every day.
Yeah. Be consistent
every fucking day. Like it's with social media, with one-to-one, you can have days off. It's fine. Do you know what I mean? In the social media, in online world, you can't really have a day off, even when but you should understand that that's just part and part of what you're going to do. Yeah. Yeah. And whether so even when you're doing holidays and stuff like that, and this is the thing with online, people want to see you. They want to see what are you doing in your personal life. Yeah. They want to see you do the mundane stuff. Yeah. Like I've just moved into a flat, so obviously I've just kind of been doing lots of stories about that. So
yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah. And people so many people know that this process went on for 6 months, which was a fucking joke. Right. It went on for way too long. So when I finally did that post of me with a fucking set of keys.
Yeah, I saw that. A lot of engagement.
God, tons of engagement.
I saw it was 400 likes. I was scrolling through your post and this is a corker.
Bam.
Yeah.
That's it. So in a weird way, I don't know how many people had followed me on this journey. Because then obviously I was just taking the piss out of the journey of how much of a joke it was.
Yeah.
All this sort of stuff.
People were buying into that story, totally. Right?
So when it came to D-Day and it actually was about 1 day left before the mortgage offer ran out. That's how much of a joke it was. And then I put that post up. Honestly, everyone was just like, I'm so happy for you. This is amazing.
I hope the call to action was, I hope you're happy for me. Now I need to buy some more furniture. Yeah. Call to action, please DM me because I want more online clients to pay for my new furniture.
So that's what I'm terrible at, the call to actions.
Right, okay.
So I guess maybe what I do, maybe I'm a little bit... However, I do what I do is it works because I actually don't put a lot of call to action.
Okay, so do you get inbounds versus you trying to trigger an action?
Yeah, totally. The only things that I've actually done, and these are only of recently actually, there was a thing we call it wolf whistle. So you literally just say, I've got 5 spaces that, to fill up in the next 12 days. Like that's the most I've really gone for. Very rarely do I say DM me or if you need this and that, which is probably my bad actually. I should probably do it more. And I think
why do you think you've not then? Because
I haven't needed to.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's loads of things in my business and in my online business that I haven't done, but that I know other people are doing, and it's doing them well. But I just haven't got around to doing it because I haven't needed it. Yeah. So this year, 2019 is the year that I start to tick those things off.
New goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those little 5-10% that keep me doing what I'm doing. It's something as simple as, mate, I've only just literally started an email list. Yeah. Now I know people that have been in this game for years and they've been building email lists. Fortunately, I haven't needed to.
So why have you decided to do it now? What's triggered the reaction? Is it the fact that you've seen other people do it, like James Smith, Academy, and all these other people out there that have email lists, and you think, am I missing something? And then it's triggered it? Or has it been in the back of your mind?
Yeah, no. I mean, so basically the guy that, if we're going to be talking about the online stuff,
Sure.
So there's a guy called Suk who does the OFB.
Sid Saduk.
Perfect. Yep. Yeah. Suk. So he obviously found a lot of his stuff, and he basically kind of said if you want to talk to people more privately, you do need an email list. And I was thinking, I bought your shit just because I'm on your email list. Right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So because you can talk to me. And I think this was Paul Moore that said this like ages ago. I'm talking like Ben Coomber Radio early days.
Hopefully he gets this quote.
So I'm sure it's him. He basically said an email list is like, so he said social media is like going into a room or like a club and trying to talk to everybody over noise. Yeah, that's what he said it is, because there's loads of stuff going on. They could read your thing, and then all of a sudden there's already something at the bottom that they want to. What's this? Oh, what's this?
Yeah,
keep scrolling
them away.
Before you know, they read your thing and they forgot about it, or whatever. He said creating an email list, like grabbing somebody from the dance floor, taking them over to the bar, buying them a drink, sitting them down, and having a one-to-one chat. And then you can portray loads more over that conversation there than you ever could try and talk to 100 people in a club. And that, even though I heard that like 5 years ago, or however many years ago, it's only recently now that I've seen people talking more about having email lists, that memory came back to the surface again. And I went, how the fuck am I not doing this yet? Yeah. So that's where it came from.
Okay, but now here's the real reason why. Why do you want an email list? Because you want something else. You've got goals to then grow this business.
That's it. It's growth, absolute growth. I'm aware that what I'm doing right now is working, which is cool. That's fine. You could say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'm also there is that slight fear of becoming lazy, or because basically when you become lazy, you breed incompetence. Basically, breeds laziness. Yeah, so if you get too comfortable, then you will just start to go backwards, basically. So you should, as somebody who runs your own business, you should what is that next thing that's going to keep me in the game? Yeah. And so that's where I've been. That's why I've done. I finally just got my logo sorted out. I finally just looking at the email list. Yeah. There's lots of tiny little things I just knew I wasn't doing that I know I ought to be doing to keep me doing what I do forever.
So what really drives you? What's your why? What's your purpose? Do you have a mission?
Mine, do you know, I'm not even going to say like, I want to help 100 people, help another 100 people. Yeah, it's just, I just love it. This is what I do. Like, I'm a coach. People say to me, what would you do if you didn't do this? I'd be like, somehow, I guess I'd be helping people in another format. If it wasn't PT or fitness or nutrition, it would be somewhere else that I'd be helping people in a one-to-one basis. Yeah. Because I knew I could never sit in an office. Like, so that's why this has to work for me, because if I don't do this, then I don't want to do anything else. So this has to work for me. So that is my main driver of why I keep doing what I'm doing. And like, first and foremost is like, even like way back in the day, it definitely was always the people first. Like, and to a degree it is still now. I want to help more people. But then Suk said, if you get into this industry and your sole passion is just to help people and you're not worried about the money side of thing, and he was like, good luck trying to help people when you don't have a roof over your head. So that was another thing that resonated with me by going, okay, do you know what? Right, let's meet myself in the middle here. Let's still have my goal is I want to help people first. Absolutely. That's just my nature. But if I can get paid handsomely while I do it, and then I can do some cool things, that's a win.
Yeah. I think that's so important what you said there, because I resonate with that, because my philosophy, and it's a shared philosophy of a lot of people, and what you just said there is you need to be able to look after yourself, particularly as a coach first, to be able to look after other people in the best way. There's no way you can show up if you haven't got everything you need, because you'll be craving that thing and it'll be on your mind, or it will hinder your performance. So you've got to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. And how the fuck can you take care of other people if you can't take care of yourself?
Exactly.
Why would they want to come to you, right? So it starts always with you inside, and then an outward thing, particularly in coaching. So I resonate totally with that. So what would you say makes a good coach? Let's end on that. What makes a good coach?
I think what makes a good coach is being personable. Do you know what I mean? Like having that ability to be able to no. Do you know what makes a good coach it's being able to take something that sounds complicated and make it very simple for somebody else to get results. That's what I think is the fundamentals of a good coach or /expert, if you want to call it.
Keep it super, super simple.
Unbelievably simple. The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Love it. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, dude.
It's been awesome.
Sweet.
So if anyone wants to find you, where can they find you?
Do you know what? I think everything is just Coach Carl. I think Facebook is Carl Greenslade, but everything else will be Coach Carl.
Coach Carl. And
I think it's Coach, actually, the Instagram's Coach Carl UK. I just ran with that like about 6 months ago. It seems to have done all right. So.
Nice. And that's where you hang out most on Instagram.
Yep, you'll find me there, possibly too much, but yeah, that's
Go check out his stories, guys. They're entertaining. All right, thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you for doing this, and it's been an awesome little setting in here in the gym. Not done this before, so I hope everyone enjoyed that podcast. If you want to find more out about Coach Carl, go check him out.
Sweet.
Cool, man. Let's leave it there. Goodbye.
Thanks for tuning into the show. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you did, head over to your favorite app and leave us a short review. I'd really appreciate that. And if you wanted to learn more about our products and services, head over to CoachingIgnited.com. And if you wanted an awesome website built for your coaching business, head over to our partner company, SavectaMedia.com. That's all from me. See you soon.